Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of Easy Prepping. First, briefly, an update on the COVID situation. Yes, the wife and I both now have it, but we've been taking the prescription Paxlovid, and I'm in the third, fourth day of it. It's a 5-day set of pills, and it's been miraculous. I'm feeling 100% better. I no longer feel like I got run over by a truck. But I promised in my first video I'd always get right to the point, so here we go. These are items that I think you should have on your shelf, a prepper shelf. I've gone through quite a few items now that you should have in a prepper bin, but a lot of these are larger things that would either weight down a bin or take up a lot of space inside a plastic bin. So these are things that I just have on a shelf. And also, there are items that may not be absolutely essential to you living day to day. They are things that would increase your quality of life. And without that, what's the sense? Also, a lot of these, if you have barter potential, uh, if you have enough of them in stock, they are potential barter items. And as I go through these, I will do some screenshots, mostly from Amazon, probably. It's the easiest place for me to just go get a price and do a screenshot. And I'll put it up here so that you will see the price. And therefore, those, especially those of you on a budget, it could give you a better idea of which ones you can afford when and prioritize which ones are more important to you, but then using the price as well. In number one, I'm going to throw all into one big mound paper products. We all remember the great toilet paper shortage of 2020. And those of you without, you know. But we weren't. I was a prepper. Had a lot of toilet paper on the shelf. In fact, the wife joked that I was the reason for the shortage. But I'm going to throw in under there not only toilet paper, but paper towels, facial tissues. It's pretty handy to be able to blow your nose. And then also paper plates, bowls, napkins, plastic utensils. In any SHTF scenario, not only are you not going to be wanting to do dishes, but it's going to take water to do dishes, to wash dishes. And you're not going to have the extra water to use for that. Number two, I'm going to throw baby wipes and Clorox wipes into one category here, even though the Clorox wipes are more for cleaning things, and the baby wipes you'd have on the shelf would be more for your personal sanitation. And number three on the list is Dawn dishwashing liquid. Now, I know I just said you're not going to want to wash dishes, but you should have some of this stuff in your stock. I've got a couple cases of it down there. I think a case is three good sized bottles. But get some Dawn dishwashing liquid on the shelf because it's not only good at cutting grease on your dishes, as they advertise, but I believe it'd be good in cleaning other things as well, even your clothes, getting grease out, hands. But Dawn dishwashing liquid. And speaking of washing your hands, number four is liquid hand soap. Just one to keep next to your sink for when you go in, wash your hands. This one is Dollar Tree. You can zoom in on that. When I bought it, it was $1.25, and I got a bunch of these on the shelf. I would pick up one or two every time I went in Dollar Tree. And now we have a mess of them. We got enough hand soap to last us a very long time. And also, this is the one with the antibacterial, $1.25, Dollar Tree. And number five is one that I don't think most people would think of, but I have found it to be fairly handy all the time, and I'm certain I'd want a pretty good stock of it in SHTF. And that's peppermint oil. I use it to keep mice out of the basement, and it seems to work pretty good. I was getting a couple in there, and I looked up peppermint oil. The smell, mice hate it. Now stay away. You put some drips on a cotton ball, drop it in the corner. I put them in the corners around the edge near the doors. And sometimes I'll just drip some down there. It's not even hit the cotton ball. but makes the basement smell good and there's no mice. So something I suggest you have at least a small stockpile of, an SHTF to keep rodents out. And number 6 is good disposable gloves. Think about when you go in a doctor's office. Every time one comes in a room, they pull on a pair of those gloves. Well, I use a good neoprene disposable gloves for when I'm smoking meat, when I'm preparing it, putting a rub on. They're very handy for that too. But I'd recommend keeping a stockpile on your prepper shelf. And back with number 7 is isopropyl alcohol. Many uses. I could do a whole video just on isopropyl alcohol. In fact, I plan on doing one on my alcohol stove, which I still have sitting up here in the studio. I just haven't gotten around to figuring out the best way to do the test for the video. But isopropyl alcohol comes in different concentrations. This is the highest I could find at my CVS pharmacy. It's a 91%. I think most of what I got, this was like $8. Anyway, most of what you see at Dollar Tree, I believe, is 50% or 70%, which is still isopropyl alcohol. It's just got more water in it. And right behind that, number 8, would be hydrogen peroxide, which I've also bought quite a few of at the Dollar Tree. I'll be going through there. I'll just grab a couple bottles, throw them in the cart. They go on the shelf in the basement. And that's another thing that could be a whole separate video by itself. There's so many uses for hydrogen peroxide. It's, like I said, a whole separate video by itself. But watch out, it comes in different concentrations as well. Most of what I've seen on the shelf is either 3% or 6%. And one thing an audiologist who did my last set of hearing aids told me, cleaning out your ears. Hydrogen peroxide is excellent at that. You put a few drops in your ear, let it sit a while, you'll hear lots of bubbling, but that softens the wax so you can wash it out easily. But use 3%. If you have 6% hydrogen peroxide, before you put it in your ears, cut it with 50% water, 50% hydrogen peroxide to get it down to that 3%. Number 9 on our list is liquid bleach. Another thing I think you should have, every prepper should have some on the shelf. The downside here is that it starts losing its effectiveness after 6 months. It does have a limited shelf life. The upside of that is it only loses approximately 20% of its shelf life every year. So if you've got some on the shelf that's a year and a half old, it's still 80% effective. So I don't throw it out after 6 months or a year. I keep it on the shelf. If I ever come to a situation where I really need to use it, I'll see how strong it is. But knowing it has that shelf life, another thing I've put on the shelf are bleach tablets. They're sealed in a bottle just like looks like a pill jar. I'll put it up here, show it from Amazon. And I've got some of those on the shelf that I hopefully have a much longer shelf life than the liquid. Next on our list is number 10 with something a infinity shelf life. It's good forever. That's vinegar. Also has a lot, thousands of uses. I will do a video just on the uses of vinegar, more specifically the prepper type of uses. And number 11 on our list is something that's really simple to have a bunch of on the shelf. You're going to use them anyway. It's garbage bags. We do have a bunch on the shelf, and all different sizes. The tall kitchen bags, all the way up to 55-gallon drum size. Those you can make a poncho out of. But in an SHTF scenario, have some plastic garbage bags. Preferably the ones that have the pull tie at the top to cinch them down when you're done. Help seal them up. Anyway, and after that, the handyman's secret weapon is number 12, duct tape. Have you a bunch of duct tape? It's got to be 15, 20 rolls down there. They come in 5-roll stacks, and I've got several of those. I keep them wrapped from the factory. They're wrapped in a thick plastic, which hopefully give them a longer shelf life. Air's not getting to them. But duct tape, 1,001 uses. You will want duct tape in an SHTF scenario. And along with the duct tape, when I was down there looking, I noticed that I also have Gorilla Waterproof Patch and Seal. It's a wider than duct tape, and it looks like it's made of rubber. I've never tested it out on anything, but Gorilla is supposed to be a pretty good name. And if you got a leak somewhere, this stuff could be really handy. And lucky number 13 on our list is lamp oil and wicks. If you don't have an oil lamp of at least some type, I'd recommend getting one. I have a multitude, but I've been prepping a long time. And like the one you see back here behind me, I picked up at an estate sale. I bought, this bookshelf over here on my far left came from an estate sale, and those lamps were on it, and everything on it came with the bookshelf. So I got the bookshelf, a whole bunch of books, including that set of encyclopedias up there, Popular Mechanics Encyclopedia, but those two lamps. So back to my point. If you don't have an oil lamp, you should consider getting one. But when you do, consider the cost of also getting a supply of oil and wicks. And make sure you get the right size wick for that lamp. And last on the list, number 14, is maybe the number one in priority, and that is a good first aid kit. Get something quality. I know Walmart has the little plastic things that, anyway, I'd highly recommend, if nothing, get one of those little cheap ones, but if you can afford it at all, get a more quality first aid kit. And you can find advice on first aid kits at, there's a YouTube channel by Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy, they call themselves. And they do a lot of videos. They have a website, Doom and Bloom, where they sell things like first aid kits. And in fact, I was looking the other day, kind of researching this video, and bought another first aid kit. Something I think you can't have hardly too much of. And if you go out there to their site or their YouTube channel, let them know it was Easy Prepping that sent you. Well, that was 14 items that I strongly think, at least consider having them on your prepper shelf. They could make your quality of life better in an SHTF scenario. And in closing, with duct tape still on my mind, I'd like to go to one of my favorite red-green quotes. If the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Thank you for watching.